Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is February 5th, and right now we are looking at the combination of Doppler radars here across Pacific Northwest. You can see this low pressure center here, the nice spin showing up on the Doppler. Southwest Washington, Northwest Oregon coastline there. You can see some winter weather advisories for the Cascades of southern Washington all the way down through Oregon. Winter storm warning for the Blue Mountains out here. Winter weather advisories elsewhere across eastern Idaho, Montana, Wyoming there. If we click on this winter storm warning here, check this out, 8 to 14 inches of new snow, winds gusting as high as 45, above 3,500 feet mainly. But watch out if you are traveling across the I-84 corridor there, 6 to 8 inches across the Blue Mountains there. Watch out. That goes for Lookout Pass too, and some of the Cascades still picking up some snowfall as well. Stevens, Snoqualmie. Just be prepared for winter driving conditions if you are crossing any of the mountain ranges on through the next few days. Now taking a look here at the infrared satellite imagery, you can see the cold air spilling out over the Gulf of Alaska here. That's our next storm system here. It's going to pack a punch with it. Also, this storm system you can clearly see here, kind of see that low pressure center right there off the Washington, Oregon coastline there. Then we'll take a look at the extended forecast as well. We have another cold signal setting up shop here for February across Pacific Northwest. If you've been across Pacific Northwest for the last few years, you know this is starting to become a trend here. So we'll look at those details here in a moment. Taking a look here at the current hazards, again, winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, wind advisories, high wind watches all over the place out here as this storm system moves through. This is for Spokane, just kind of highlighting the fact Stevens Pass, Snoqualmie Pass, going to get some winter driving conditions. Lookout Pass there. Not too bad for I-90 across eastern Washington coming up here, though. Now, taking a look here, this is Pocatello, Idaho. You can see how the valley is going to be lesser amounts, but as you get out towards Pocatello, Blackfoot, Idaho Falls, 1 to 2 inches, and the bigger amounts, of course, across the higher terrain out there. Now taking a look here, I want to show you that cold air coming out over the Gulf of Alaska. We're looking at 700 millibars, 10,000 feet. There goes our system currently moving across mainly Oregon there, and you can see the next batch of cold air going to drive a strong frontal system into the Pacific Northwest here as we go on in through the day Tuesday. Probably start impacting BC on Monday night, move through the area then, and then we're going to start to build a ridge here, but then it looks like a cold signal starting to emerge here going on into mid-February, and again, we'll look at that here in a few moments, but this is looking at things currently. You can see the European picking up that low pressure center off the southwest Washington coastline there. Snow continuing on in through today, on into tonight. Not much of a break either before the next one starts bearing down on us here in the Pacific Northwest. Again, big mountain snows coming up here. It's going to go all the way down through the Oregon Cascades. Another good round of snow for the Blue Mountains there, northeast Washington, Rocky Mountains of BC, Idaho, Montana there as well. So we're just getting in a pretty active period here. And then we'll take a look at the extended forecast here just coming up in a couple minutes. Stay with me. But I'll put this into motion, and you kind of see that next frontal system mainly up into western BC here, and this kind of cuts off the California coast. The models have been fluctuating in the strength of this system here. We'll just watch that as we go. But then you can see a colder air mass start to move down across Pacific Northwest here out of the northwest. So we'll take a look at those details a little bit more here in a minute. Now, this is current right now. You can see that low pressure center off our coastline there. Storm moves out of the area. Next frontal system bearing down on BC across the Washington, Oregon coastline there. Some pretty gusty winds coming across the northwest interior again, maybe even through the Puget Sound, all the way down through the Oregon coast there by Tuesday afternoon. And then the next systems start to arrive out here across the Pacific as well. Now, taking a look here at NAM 3KM, this is for that system that we're looking at in the infrared satellite imagery here. You can see 45 Seattle, mid 40s. It's starting to get windy again here. This is upticking a little bit here in the recent model runs, 50 miles per hour for the immediate coastline there. Some of the higher terrain, some nice gusts as well. So we'll watch this one, especially on in through tomorrow morning, see if this trends upwards a little bit more. As you can see, some 50 plus mile per hour gusts across the island counties and western Skagit, Whatcom County there as well into southwest BC. Now, taking a look here, this is Quileute. And again, I got to remind you, the European has been underdoing these wind speeds. So in my forecast, I will be adding a few miles per hour to these forecasts here. But you can see up towards 40 miles per hour for Quileute. Not too big of a deal there, but we'll watch that for any uptrend. Look at Bellingham, though. Some of the ensembles are calling for 49, 50 plus here across the area. So I wouldn't put it past it. We could see some upper 40s or even another 50 mile per hour gust up there across some of western Whatcom County up there, and the island counties actually. Now this is Seattle Tacoma here, a little bit of an uptick here in the wind speeds as well. Some of these ensembles get into the lower 40s again here for Seattle, and we'll watch this tomorrow and see what we're going to get out of this. But the NAM was calling again for mid 40s, and that's you can't put it past it there. You know, the Europeans have been underdoing these speeds. This is Portland, a little bit less windy down there. You can kind of see just generally maybe around 30 miles per hour there. Now this is looking at 24-hour running total precipitation across Pacific Northwest. Now we're into Monday morning about 4 a.m. That's the 24-hour inning totals here. Just the tiniest break here, but it's not much of one here. And the next system is right on us here. And you can see some of these big totals here coming across the coastal areas here, the Olympics, the higher terrain of BC here. Look at some of these totals up over 4 inches in a 24-hour period. And you can see this atmospheric river sags south across the region here. Pretty good bullseye here on the North Cascades. Nice amounts across the southern Washington Cascades here as well. As that finally starts to get, we get another break here as we go on past the 90-hour period. But some pretty good precipitation totals come with that frontal system coming up here. Now this is snow total Kuchera. This is last night's European run. 06Z is 10 p.m. Pacific time. And you can see these amounts piling up here across the Cascades. Look at some of these amounts up over 3 feet in some of these isolated areas, even maybe 4+ feet for portions of Mount Rainier here. Higher terrain of BC getting on the action as well. Blue Mountains, another good round of snowfall coming up here. So nice winter storms rolling through here. Hope we can build this snowpack up here across the next 4 days or so. Now let's take a little bit of a look here at the extended forecast. You got the European ensemble mean on the right, the GFS ensemble mean on the right. Sorry, the European is on the left here. Now this is an average of all 50 ensemble members, and each one of those 50 have their initial conditions tweaked a little bit, and then we just average the entire suite of ensembles. Now, put that into motion there. And you can see pretty good model agreement with that system coming through here. Some ridging building across the area here. A cutoff low moves down towards California here. GFS would be a little bit strong with that system there. But then we get some ridging here. But then look what happens. That ridge retrogrades back over the Gulf of Alaska. And we get that cooler air mass here across Pacific Northwest. Pretty strong signal here. Good agreement at 200+ hours here. And I'll show you the Canadian as well, which also agrees. But you can see that trough digging out down across southwest USA eventually there. But you can see the ridging kind of remain out over the Aleutians in the Gulf of Alaska. It's favorable for some cold air intrusions here into the Pacific Northwest. We're going to watch this closely as we go. And you can see near the end of the run here at 360 hours here, we're still in good agreement with much below average temperatures here across the Pacific Northwest. This is the European, the control run here. So this is basically just a lower resolution of the initial conditions as we know them, or as we think we know them. Now you can see this next strong system go through here as we go through the day Tuesday. Then some ridging here. That low pressure center goes down off California. We build a ridge here. Then that ridge retrogrades, and there we go. Look at that cold air shot down here across Pacific Northwest shown there. Ridge stays out here across the Gulf of Alaska here, allowing for another shot of cold air, maybe way off into the extended there. But that's clearly a pattern here for some cold air, and that's the typical setup here for getting some snow chances all the way down to sea level here if things just line up just right. But it is just fantasy for now, but it is a strong signal here that's showing up really in the Canadian, the GFS, and the European model. Now looking at the Canadian here on the left, the ensemble mean versus the GFS on the right. This is 2-meter temperature anomalies. This would be at the surface here. And we'll go off into the extended a little bit here. And here we are at hour 200, and you can see this cold signal here kind of develop here across North America here. You can clearly see it, below average temperatures here. And look at the GFS. The deterministic run here is just like wants to bring this huge mass of Arctic air all the way down across British Columbia, even down into Washington and Oregon eventually here. I mean, this is clearly fantasy land. It's well out that way far out there, but you can see the Canadian showing that similar signal here for some colder air around the region there too. And this is the ensemble mean, so this is going to look smoothed out here, but the signal is there for that colder air to be approaching us here in mid-February. Now I want to show this again here too. You'll clearly see this, the sea surface temperatures here. Here's the equator, here's the Hawaiian Islands, there's the west coast of North America. Look at the end of the run, this warm air that emerges off the coast of South America, kind of showing the last stages of La Nina here, I believe anyway. So you can see the cold air, cold water, La Nina still in charge here across the equatorial Pacific here, but then that upwelling here, and not upwelling, but the warm waters are starting to build up here across the coast of South America. Upwelling actually would bring colder water here. So correcting myself there. But yeah, clearly La Nina is on its way out here. We're probably headed towards neutral conditions at least. Maybe not El Nino right away, but some of the models are hinting at that. So we'll just continue to watch this as we go. And again, I will be doing a video on La Nina, El Nino neutral conditions and what that means for the Pacific Northwest here. That'll probably happen in the next couple months or so. Now, looking at avalanche danger across the area here, watch out if you're out across the Blue Mountains in the backcountry. Some of the Oregon Cascades have considerable avalanche danger as well, and you can see moderate across much of the Washington Cascades and the Olympic Mountains also. So, yeah, avalanche.org, check that out if you're going to the backcountry. Now, taking a look here, we have 3 to 4 week temperature outlook. This was issued 2 days ago here. This is for mid-February on and through early March. You see the below average signal again across Pacific Northwest here. It's kind of picking up on that cold signal there. And also we're above average precipitation here, again, February 18th through March 3rd here. So it's just a signal right now. We'll just continue to watch it as we go day by day. We'll watch it together and kind of see how things trend as we go. But anyway, yeah, strong frontal system coming in Monday night on in through Tuesday across the region, going to continue to build up that mountain snow, which is good for the spring and summer months here. And then we have that potential for turning colder here as we go on in through mid-February. So we'll watch that one closely as well. It's way out there right now, but it's worth talking about because it is shown in all the major models here. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. I go back to work today. I'll be at work the next 4 days, but I'll be doing my daily briefings as per usual. And yeah, so I hope you guys are having a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.